Hey there, Apprentice Paul here. I'm taking you on a journey where I learn about beekeeping in Australia. And today we're focusing on making baseboards and lids for our 10-frame hives. This episode is brought to you by Thank You Honeybee. Unfortunately for me, but not unfortunately for you, I've got to do this video all over again. I lost all the sound footage on both videos, or I lost one video camera which had sound footage, and I lost the sound footage on the main camera. Something to do with the communication between the two microphones and the transceiver on top of the camera. Alright, so this is my baseboard. I'll start off with why I chose these. Okay, so these are what is known as a deep base. So basically the dimension from here to here is quite deep. So the reason I've gone with the deep ones is because what I was reading was the bees don't draw the wax out right the way to the very bottom on your frames when you have a shallow board. So I've just chosen for that. I would have liked to have put some ventilation in this, but I've just decided to leave it as a standard for now. Eventually I'll be going to the new Plas one, which has got the 3 little doors at the front that you can open and close, and it has you can pull out the trays for beetles and so on and so forth. So yeah, so that's where I'll be going to when I actually start to pay for things. So the whole idea of this right now is to get kicked off the ground without actually having to pay for any hive equipment other than things like veil, smoker, hive knife, brush, those sorts of things, because I'm really trying to keep the costs low. So building my own baseboards to start with, building my own lids. There's the other one. I did pay for that piece of tin, which was very painful. I also paid for the mesh that I've used on the inside of the holes, but I've got enough there to last me a lifetime now. What we'll do today, we'll start off with the base, and then from there we'll move on to the lid. The lids themselves are pretty basic. The only thing is that I was talking to Dad through the week, and he said to put a piece of timber in through here. He said it was to stop sagging and for when you put your clamp on to keep your box together. But the main reason for sagging, so the water doesn't sit on top of the box, but I'm putting tin on all of the boxes. Alright, so for now we'll just start with our base. We'll cut our sections for around the outside for our depth. I've already cut baseboards. I've got some sitting here already, so you won't need to see me cut them, but I will show you how I put it all together. The other thing I'll add is these sections of timber on the bottom here, they are hardwood, so they're not, I haven't used pine board for them because they're going to be in contact with the ground. So Dad and I have had a bit of a conversation about trying to make our hives last a lot longer. Dad's got a hive that he's had for less than 5 years, and I'll just show you some photos of that now. As you can see, there's a little bit of rot in the top corner there, and that hive's only 5 years old, so we want to try and protect our equipment a little bit better than that. There's been a lot of talk about this in comments on the previous video after I built those hives, and basically what I've decided to do is I've decided to wax dip. So we're going to wax dip the hives, and then while they're still hot we're going to paint them with this green colour, because I want the green colour so these blend in with their surroundings. I would have liked to have gone either a darker green, but I really need to keep reflective heat properties on this because where they're going does get quite warm. So firstly I'll start making the frame up for around the outside of the baseboard. Then I'll make our legs up and I'll assemble it all together. So I've got a bit of timber here that I pulled out of the bin again. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to cut it to length, and then after that I'm just going to strip it into the sizes that I want. Alright, there's that timber nicely trimmed up. There's a few pieces I had to discard. They warped while I was stripping them off. What I need to do now is I just need to cut the rebates in the front and the back panel, and then I need to put a groove in here 9mm thick for the bees to go in and out of the hive. So on one of these. There's our front and our sides nicely rebated, nice little join there. So now we'll just put our slot in here for the entrance for the hive. There we have our nice little 9mm wide entrance for our bees to go in and out of. The next step here is just to strip back some of this hardwood. So again, this is recycled timber. What I'm just going to do now, I'm just going to cut a piece off it just to get rid of the daggy bit, and then I'll strip it all back. There's my nice 2 hardwood legs out of the bottom of the baseboard, so these should last a lot longer than the pine. They'll be a little bit less susceptible to termite attack than the pine is. It doesn't stop the termites from climbing up this to get to the pine though. And when I'm gluing these together, I just put a liberal amount of glue on there. Try and get it on all the faces. Oh, it isn't what it says on the packet either. This is Bondcrete. I buy Bondcrete in a tin and then I make it up into this using a bit of water. Alright, so what I found, the best way to do these is to put it on a nice flat surface, join your faces together, and then put your nail in. Once you've done that, stand it up, put a nail in on the side, and then another one on the front face. And that gives you a lovely looking joint, and it'll last you quite a long time. So again, liberal amount of glue. One in on the side, and then a couple more on the face. You can see there I've left a little ledge out the front for the bees to go and land on as they come in. We'll just glue this down and nail it. Right, now putting our feet on, just the same deal. A little bit of glue. When I say a little bit of glue, just glue it. Line it up where you need it to be. Just rest the other one under the front for a second. Get our alignment correct. Same deal again, bit of glue. There you have it, one nice baseboard. Okay, that's all I've got time for on this video, unfortunately. I'm not going to get to show you how I make the lids because I want to spend a bit of time showing you just how I fold the tin up for the top. So it's going to be a little bit sort of complex. So it'll run this video into half an hour or more, and I don't want to do that. So I'll leave you with how I put the brand on the hives, how I made a template up to run around it with the router, and then I went out to a mate's place who's got a CNC plasma and we cut one out of a sheet of steel so I can just put that on and run around it with a top bearing and on the router, and away we go. It's going to put the brand in it. It's going to be exactly the same each time. Alright, well, until next week, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers.